So again, it's an absolute delight to have each and every one of you guys, come into the webinar today. We're very excited to have you guys. It promises to be a very, very informative and great session for you guys, right? So, just to kick off, I'll start off by, introducing the faces you see on your screen, right? I'll start from myself, then over to Rose, then Rose would, then Hiren would also introduce himself as well. So, very quick one. My name is Jerry Peter. I know you see Gadal Real Estate there, but, the name behind the company is Jerry Peter. The founder of Gadal Real Estate, right? It's an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. So, Rose, do you wanna go ahead?
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Rose Ayo. I'm a growth and business developer. Also, I just want to say a big thank you to my client here. I see Nonso, I see Tunde, and just stay tuned. Welcome. Hiren, you can take it.
I'd like to say a good evening or good afternoon and good evening to everyone as well. And it is an absolute pleasure to meet and see so many new faces, and as well as it looks like some very familiar existing clients of mine as well. So thank you very, very much for attending today. I promise to give you a very informative and an educational webinar today. And I'm sure there'll be a lot for you to all take away from this webinar today. So thank you.
Okay, then perfect. So I'll just look for perfect. So yeah, that's about the introduction. Again, it's a pleasure for us to meet you guys. So I guess I'll just move on to the agenda for the webinar today. Right. So first on the agenda list is introducing Gadal Real Estate, which is my company, right? Second on the agenda for today's webinar, right? Hiren will be leading that session, right? Where he would share why you should invest in the UK, right? I know for a number of you guys here, just like Hiren mentioned, some of you have already perhaps invested. Some of, I think the bulk of you guys are curious to know, why should you invest in the UK, right? I'm glad to be partnered with Hiren, and he'll be leading that session with you guys. And, the third agenda we have for today is the key cities, in the UK. I'm sure you guys are already wondering, is it Manchester, London or Birmingham? Hiren will be able to answer that question. The fourth agenda on the list is, he would show you the UK map, the developments, and then the processes that these developments are currently going through as well, right? So fifth on the agenda list for today is why Dubai, right? So for today's session, we're talking about two countries, why you should invest in the UK as well as Dubai, right? For the sixth agenda for today, he'll be speaking about legacy investment consultancy, who they are, so you guys can, get to know them and, be familiar with them as well, right? For the seventh agenda for today's webinar, here we'll be speaking about full turnkey solution. I'm sure you guys would also find that very exciting. And then, when Hiren is done, right, with his session, please feel free to make use of the Q&A, chat box all throughout the session, whether it's during my session, when I'm introducing, my company, when Hiren is speaking, or when Rose is speaking as well. Please feel free to, drop your questions in the box, and then we'll be able to address your questions or answer your questions, or, any concerns that you may have, right? So that's about it for the agenda of the webinar today. Here, and just quick one, I have one person asking you to let them in. So if you could please check the waiting room if there's somebody waiting there, right? So as here, I will go ahead. Oh, it's automatic. Okay, perfect. So perfect. So I'll be kicking off the first agenda on the webinar for today. I'll be introducing my company. Like I said earlier, I'm the founder of Gadal Real Estate, right? So just very quick, three key histories with my company, right? I actually got my first client request in 2017, right? It was a commercial property. I had that request almost 7 years ago now, right? And then fast forward to 6 years later, I didn't do anything real estate. I just, after that first request, I went into the corporate space, picked up a 9 to 5 as a tech sales professional, and then I registered my real estate company 6 years after my first request that I got, right? And then, the next month after I registered my company, I made my first sale in real estate. All right, Hiren. Okay, perfect. So just to give a bit more context as to, what we do as a real estate company, right? Gadal Real Estate, we specialize in providing tailored real estate solutions, for residential, commercial, and affordable properties, right? So when you think of Gadal Real Estate, just think of us this way. We are the, middleman between, the sellers on one end and then the buyers on the other end, right? So on the first hand, we're partnered with a number of good developers in Lagos right now. And then, with my recent partnership with Hiren, I'm also now, matching Nigerian investors with properties in the UK, right? Just a few services that we offer. We offer property brokerage, right? I spoke about that just now. What we basically do is we have partnerships with developers in Lagos, Nigeria, and we help them in selling their properties, be it houses or lands, right? We also do real estate advisory, right? Just to delve into that a bit, I had a friend reach out to me after he saw the data, the profit that short-led businesses made in December, just this last 30 December, and then he reached out to me and said, Jerry, can you help me get started with my short-led business? And I said, why not, right? So that's part of the services that we do. And right now we're in the process of helping him get a house, advising him on the location, so I can help him get started in a short-led business, right? So a part of the brokerage service that we offer is we do property listings, and we schedule tours as well. So when we list these properties on our social media platforms, and then, clients see them, we help them, schedule tours. So they come see the property, and then, we move it forward from there. Okay, just to speak a little bit about, what our internal structure as a company looks like, right? I have 2 core team members who work with me full-time. And I also have, 11 realtors that work with me in selling our property portfolios, right? So these are, the 4 current active locations where we have properties, where we've also sold properties in, right? Lagos, Abuja, recently Ogun State. We got a client reach out to us that he has a land there he wants us to sell for him. And then, I'm proud to be adding UK to the list, because I just signed, the partnership with Hiren, right? So just to move to the 2 locations where we're currently working out of in Lagos, Nigeria, we have 2, one on the mainland, the other on the island. Thank you, Hiren. So just a quick run through of what our current property portfolio as a company looks like, right? We currently have over 3 billion naira worth of direct property portfolios that we have as a company. And just to list out a few of those properties we have in our portfolio, we have 2 units of 4-bedroom terrace just off Freedom Way in Lekki Phase 1. We also have, 6 units of apartments in Ilasan Lekki up for sale too, right? And last but not the least, we have a 2,631 square meters of land for sale in VGC, right? So that's what our current portfolio looks like. We also have some properties that I didn't list as well, right? So just to walk you guys through what the future holds for us as a company, right? So number 1 is land banking, right? We've gotten a number of requests of people looking to buy lands in smaller bits here in Lagos, Abuja, and in Ogun State as well. So we are in the process of, acquiring a huge expanse of land in 3 locations in Lagos, where we can bring very affordable bit-sized lands in 1 plot, half plot to, our customers here in Lagos, right? So number 2 in what's in the future for, Gadal Real Estate is partnerships, right? One of those partnerships is what I just signed with Legacy Investment Consultancy, and now we're able to help, some of my prospective clients that I have joined the call. We can now match you straight to properties in the UK based on our partnerships, right? We also have partnerships in the US coming up, but UK is what we have live. And yeah, as a result of that partnership, we're able to bring this webinar to you guys, right? So the third and interesting thing that's in the future for us from now is, property management and services, right? I was just catching up with Hiren. I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, after I signed a partnership with them, a friend saw that Legacy Investment Consultancy, they have, an office space in Dubai. I reached out and said, Jerry, my father owns 2 properties in Dubai. Can you guys, help me manage it? Because the guys that are currently managing it, we think we can make more profit off that. So that's also something we have as an add-on service, as a company, right? So just a very quick tip. Hiren, if you could please go back a bit.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So just a quick tip for some of you guys who, have it as a goal this year that, oh, you want to acquire land, right? Just to, tell you guys this, right? If you buy a land in a strategic location in Lagos, what you're going to experience is between 15 and 25% appreciation on that land annually, right? So if you have it as a goal, speak to us. We can get you started with that, right? Next slide, please, Hiren. Okay, perfect. So a very quick backstory to how this partnership happened, right? It was Q1 last year. I was speaking with a bank executive here in Nigeria, and he said to me, Jerry, see, I know that the properties you're selling to me in Lagos are great, but my family is in Canada, and if I'm going to buy any more properties, they have to be offshore properties, right? I'm like, okay, you know what, that's fine. I left that meeting without having a plan to, securing an offshore partnership like this. But also, interestingly enough, Q3 last year as well, I met another bank executive, usual Jerry, trying to sell, property to them in Lagos. And then he said, you know what, I have 2 categories of properties, right? The first category is in Lagos. He said, you know what, Jerry, you know that the Naira is devaluing so much. So because of the headache of the Naira, and also because of the headache that my Nigerian tenants give me, I've outsourced my Nigerian portfolio to my wife, whilst I handle the portfolio in the UK, right? So it was not until December last year, when Legacy arranged a physical meetup, I met the same, bank executive, and then said, oh, Jerry, now you see me, right? You thought maybe I was lying when I told you I had properties in the UK, right? So yeah, so that's the backstory. I wasn't thinking to do properties in the UK, but interestingly enough, Hiren reached out to me. We met in Lagos last December, signed an agreement, a partnership agreement, and then now, one of the first fruits of that partnership is this webinar that I'm bringing to you guys, right? So the whole aim of this partnership is to help my Nigerian prospective clients who are looking to invest in offshore properties in the UK. I'm able to match them seamlessly, right, from Nigeria here, right? So just to also speak to the last partner that I currently have, it's an ongoing conversation with Stanbic IBTC for our first development project here in Lagos, Nigeria. So what I would say is just watch this space. We have, a number of interesting and exciting news coming up, right? Okay, thank you all so much for listening to me. It's such a pleasure. I will be, allowing Rose, to give an introduction of herself now.
All right. Thank you, Jerry, and well done. Wishing you all the best this year. Hello, everyone. And I can see some more persons came on board, so welcome. Just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Rose Ayo, and I'm a sales and business development expert with over 7 years experience working with various clients with the aim of client satisfaction and retention. Also, I'm based in Nigeria, but I work closely with Legacy, who's based in Dubai. And I focus for Legacy, I focus on building clientele growth. So how can we reach out to people? And like Jerry said, we saw what happened last year to the Naira devaluation. So the aim is to help Nigerians here preserve their wealth. So I manage clients' portfolios to ensure wealth preservation with the aim of helping them earn globally. Think about it, you are earning globally and you're spending locally. That's the aim, and that's why I'm here. I focus on building long-term client relationship management by ensuring smooth process flow for all business transactions from start to finish. Hiren will be coming up later on to explain what it means. It's basically a full turnkey service. So we don't just like, oh, come and buy a property and we'll let you hang. No, I work with you. I'm there from the beginning. Even after you've gotten the property, I'm still there. So thank you very much. Welcome. And now I'm handing over to Hiren, who's going to lead us in the session.
Fantastic. And thank you very, very much for that, for Jerry and Rose. It's an absolute pleasure to be working with both of you. And I'd also, again, like to thank everyone that is attending today. I really appreciate the time you've taken out. And as promised, I will ensure that I try and make it an educational webinar for you guys. So I'll start by telling you a little bit about myself. So my name's Hiren and I'm the Managing Director for Legacy. I've been based in Dubai for the last 14 years. I am born, bred, and raised in the UK, spent all my life there, university and everything. And then I eventually moved out to Dubai 14 years ago. I am a UK qualified financial advisor with over 15 years of experience in investment advisory. I focus mainly on clients in the Middle East and the Africa region. I do work with individuals and family offices to build and secure their financial legacies. I specialize in property portfolio development for future growth and succession planning. But I also deliver a turnkey investment solution and full service consultancy for global investors. But I'm also committed to strategic long-term value creation for my international clients. So let's start by talking about, I've been in and out of Nigeria and Africa for over 8 to 10 years now. And I've got a big client bank in Nigeria alone, and I'll show you some information later on to show you just how closely I work with a lot of the multinational businesses there. But over the years, I've been asking my clients, so why is it that you like buying into UK property? And here are the key reasons why so many African clients choose to buy into the UK. First and foremost, Africa is very fragile and uncertain at the moment, and that is mainly due to economical reasons and obviously the devaluation of currencies in many African countries. Many African investors are diversifying into foreign property markets to minimize their risks. Local currency and investment issues in many African countries hinder future financial planning. An increasing number of African residents are sending their children to UK universities, making early property investments a priority to secure safe, reliable housing and manage major expenses. For those approaching retirement or just looking for consistent, certain income on a hard currency, there is no better asset than property. And Nigerians are investing into the UK to capitalize on wealth building opportunities, deepen their UK connections, and satisfy a strong interest in property ownership. So it's great that we know that now. Why are Africans choosing that? But a lot of people ask me, well, why should you invest in the UK? What are the key core reasons? Well, now I'm going to show you just why. The UK offers attractive rental yields due to high demand from professionals and students, often surpassing those in other major global cities. The UK property market has a history of strong capital growth, with prices increasing an average of 5% per year over the last 100 years, driven by strong economy, limited land supply, and global appeal. The UK's strong diversified economy creates healthy property demand from both businesses and individuals, benefiting investors. And the UK's excellent transport links make it a convenient place to live and work, boosting property demand further. So this is one of my favorite slides I'm going to show you now. This is actually from the UK Land Registry data. So it's available on the UK government website itself. And what this is historically showing you is how UK property prices have consistently risen and gone up. And when you work it out over the last 70 to 75 years, which is how far this graph is going, it shows you that UK property prices have actually doubled every 10 to 15 years. But let me take you through some very important times globally that we also went through. In 1990, we had the Persian Gulf War crisis, okay? There was a global recession. Property prices in the UK stagnated for about 5 years. They didn't drop, they didn't go down, but it was a global recession. But in 1995, UK property prices shot back up. More recent, 2007, is when we had the Lehman Brothers global market crash and recession. Again, UK property prices took a very small little dip, and that was mainly London property prices at that point. But in 2010, 3 years later, UK property prices shot back up again. But also, furthermore, to add, the UK was the fastest economy to recover out of recession when it came to property growth and property values. After that, we had 2016 when the UK announced Brexit, or our exit from the EU, where we wanted to go back to being independent. And even then, everyone thought lots of Europeans are going to leave the UK. Nobody left. And in fact, the UK still remained very strong. The pound became stronger against the dollar and the euro, showing that the UK is great and independent, even on its own, without being part of the EU. And in 2020, we had COVID, and even then, UK property prices continued rising. So what this is briefly showing you, that even through good times and bad times, the UK property market is a very strong economy, currency, and market to buy and invest into properties. This is another graph showing you just historically, even in the last 12 years, how UK property prices have averaged throughout the whole of the UK. This is not taking London or any major city in account. This is just talking about average UK property prices have grown by £100,000 just in the last 12 years on an average. Some cities have definitely increased more, some cities a little bit less. But as an average, you would have made £100,000 profit on your property if you had bought it in the last 12 years. This here is showing you just why the UK is so, property prices are so strong. Because if you look here, since 1971, the population of the UK has continued rising. This is due to globally, healthcare facilities better, people live longer nowadays, but the population, a lot of people moving into the UK. But either way, shows you just how much the population keeps on rising. But what's more important is the UK is a very small country and a very small island. You can't grow land anywhere in the world apart from if you're in Dubai, and some of you will understand the joke there. But if you have a look on the top up here where I've got the cursor, that's Scotland, and then you've got Ireland here. They're technically their own independent countries themselves already. But then you've got the UK, which is from Manchester all the way down to London here. And it is a very small country and a very small island. Population keeps rising, but property prices keep going up because they can't find enough land to continue building. And as you know, if any of you know the UK, you know you can only build so high. You can't just build skyscrapers. There's a lot of green land as well, which you cannot build on, which is agricultural land, which means that UK is going towards Hong Kong and Singapore, where population increases, property prices keep on going up, but nowhere for people to move and live in nowadays. So the UK and its shortage of homes. Well, the UK has a severe housing crisis, especially in the most prosperous places. Across England, the average house costs more than 10 times the average salary. Now, that's very important to know that, which means it's getting more and more difficult for people to save up money to be able to buy their first property, which means they rent longer. And that means a lot of international buyers are coming in, buying property in the UK and then renting them out. Furthermore, the vacancy or empty apartments throughout the UK is below 1%. That's very important for you to know that, which means apartments don't sit empty in the UK because there's just not enough of them around. So below 1% of them are ever sitting empty. The space per person for private renters has dropped substantially in recent decades, basically meaning properties are becoming smaller because there's not enough land to build big apartments. Also, compared to the average European country, UK today has a backlog or a shortage of 4.3 million homes that are missing from the national housing market, as they've just not been able to be built, again, because there's not enough land and not enough space to keep on building. Housing deficit would take half a century to fill if the government could build 300,000 homes a year. However, sadly, even at the best year ever, the UK only ever managed to build 97,000 homes, which means every year there's always over 200,000 homes shortage compared to what they need to be building in the UK. So that means good news for as an investor, property prices only keep going up and rental demand is very high. So now the question is, where should you invest in the UK? Well, you should look to invest in rising markets with the following characteristics: rising property prices, strong tenant base, undersupply of premium housing, strong employment opportunities and job growth, population growth, thriving higher education sector and graduate populations, affordable entry prices, good transport links. And what we found is that when you put all of those together, the northwest of England is the UK's #1 property hotspot and offers outstanding house price and rental growth. According to Savills, which is one of the world's largest companies when it comes to properties and talking about markets and where they're going, in the last average 28.8% house price growth by 2025. So by the end of this year and in the last 5 years, property prices have gone up by just under 30% in the Northwest region. Also, we're finding rental increases are 3.3% per annum due to the shortage of properties in this region. The city centre property markets in this region offer everything you need to make a profitable investment. Now, in the last 5 years, what we found is that Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield, Birmingham, and London, where most people like to invest, Manchester grew by just under 8%, Leeds at just under 7.5%, Sheffield at 7.2%, Birmingham just under 7%, and London just under 3% capital appreciation on a yearly basis. In the last 5 years, in the Northwest region, which is Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield, and touches on Birmingham, property, if you'd bought a property there in the last 5 years, your property would have gone up by just under 25% capital appreciation. That's a great return, according to Zoopla and Savills. Moving forward, according to JLL, the next 5 years to come, you should see in the Northwest region just under 30% growth on your property value, because property values are just continuing to rise. And also, you should get just under 22% rental increase on your properties. Now, I always ask a client one thing. If you can see these percentages here, if you had £1 million or $1 million, where would you invest your money? And that will give you a good idea and a hint as to where you should be looking to put your money. So now we're going to touch on the key cities in the UK, growth opportunities and investment insights: Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, and London. To give you an idea here, according to Savills, in the next 5 years, to kind of complement the figures I've just given to you, Northwest, which is areas like Manchester, Liverpool, Salford areas, they're going to grow by around 29.4%. The Yorkshire and Humber, which is areas like Sheffield, Leeds, and Halifax, are going to grow by about 28.2%. Places like Birmingham, Coventry, and Wolverhampton by about 26.4%. And London will still have a good growth rate, conservatively at 17.1% growth in London. So what we do is we focus our attention on all these kind of cities where we're going to see the best capital appreciation and the best rental yields for our clients' investment opportunities. So to summarize, these cities exemplify the UK's dynamic growth through robust infrastructure, expanding populations, and increasing opportunities for education and employment. Manchester and Birmingham stand out for their large-scale regeneration infrastructure projects and offer the highest capital appreciation in the rental yields for your investment. Leeds and Sheffield benefit from their strategic locations and evolving economies and eventually become Tier 1 cities. London is renowned for its economic landmark like the Big Ben, Tower of London, Buckingham Palace, along with its rich history. However, rental yields and capital appreciation are expected to be a little bit more limited in the coming years when you compare it to Manchester, Birmingham, and Leeds. Rental and house price growth forecasts indicate strong investment potential across all 4 cities, solidifying their position as key partners in the UK property markets. To give you an idea, guys, today I'm talking about 4 different areas, which is going to be Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, and London. However, we help clients with all different elements of budgets. And to give you ideas, we have developments in all the key major cities and regions in the UK. In Leeds, Halifax, Manchester, Sheffield, Nottingham, Birmingham, and London. And in total, we have over 21 different sites and developments that we're able to offer our clients globally. We have starting prices from anywhere from £140,000 all the way up to £3 million in London. So whatever your budgets are, whatever cities, areas, and locations you're considering, please do talk to us, because we probably have something that's going to be right for you and along with the right budgets. Today, we're going to start by talking about Manchester. So let's start by the map of Manchester. So this is the Manchester city centre. Here you've got the Old Trafford area, and here you've got the Salford area. No matter which way you look from any of these directions, these are all 10 to 15 minutes into the city centre. So now I'm going to show you some of the key landmarks in Manchester. You've got Manchester University here at the bottom. You've got the Piccadilly train station, which goes directly into London, Liverpool, Birmingham, Leeds, and all the major cities. You've got Manchester City Football Club just there. You've got Manchester Victoria train station, University of Salford, the Media City area where you've got the BBC, ITV, Warner Brothers, Google, Amazon, Tesla. They're all based around this area. And then finally, you've got Manchester United Football Club at the bottom here. Whichever direction you look at, all of these are within 10 to 15 minutes into the city centre of Manchester. These green are all of our previous developments that we've had in the last 18 months to 2 years. The blue are all of our developments that we now currently have available in Manchester at this moment in time. All of them are in key cities, key areas of Manchester, all walking distance, tram ride or drive away from all of the major landmarks. We're going to start today by only talking about Berkeley Square, which is in Manchester, which has been one of our most popular selling developments in Manchester. And I'll start by giving you a quick short video on Berkeley Square. That was Berkeley Square, which has been one of our most popular developments in Manchester. We're 70% now sold out on that development. 250 units in total, mixture of 1 and 2 beds, completes in Q4 of 2026. We've actually been told by the developers ahead of schedule and will be completing in Q3 of 2026 now. Estimated rental yields will be over 7%, 250-year leasehold. 1 bedroom start at 235,000, 2 bedrooms at 342,000. To give you an idea of this development and the location, this is where Berkeley Square sits. Here is Media City, where I mentioned earlier, you've got Amazon, the BBC, ITV, Sky, Google, Microsoft, they're all based there. The kind of tenants you'll be getting in Berkeley Square will be executives and working professionals that are working either in Media City or from the city centre. All of these yellow are the tram stops that go directly into the city centre, which only takes 7 minutes by tram. By car as well, it only takes you about 10 minutes. You've got the University of Manchester just there and Salford University on the top here. So it's a great catchment area where we're going to get lots of good tenants potentially wanting to rent and tenant here as well. To give you an idea, this comes with all the possible amenities that all new developments in the UK come with. Communal rooftop terrace gardens, private residence courtyard with picnic areas, barbecue areas and everything. A 24/7 concierge, just like a hotel. It'll also have a state-of-the-art gym and yoga rooms, co-working space area, because this has become very important in the UK because many people still work from home. 3 days a week they go into the office, 2 days a week they work from home. And it'll have a full residence lounge and a coffee shop area as well. So all the nice amenities you'd expect from a development. It's got state-of-the-art sort of like equipment in all the bedrooms, letting lots of light in. All of our developments come with white goods included. So inbuilt fridge, freezers, dishwashers, washing machines, ovens, hobs, everything is already inbuilt and provided as well. To give you an idea and how does it work buying a property in the UK, in Berkeley Square, for example, is £5,000 to reserve a unit. This takes it off the market and it's reserved for you. Then we will introduce you to an independent panel of lawyers, and over 28 days, you will then go through legals with lawyers in the UK. Eventually, you'll pay the lawyers directly into an escrow account, 20% of the property value. From there, on completion, you will then pay the balance, and we can typically get you a 70% loan to value mortgage. And that is for all my African clients and all my Nigerian clients as well. What's been very popular are the 2-bedroom apartments because of this. It's again £5,000 to reserve a unit, but you only pay 10% after 28 days. Then after 3 to 6 months later, depending on your budgets, we will then take another 10%. You pay that to the lawyers. And then finally, on completion, you pay another 10%, and then you'll get a 70% loan to value mortgage. Due to the payment plan and payment breaks on here, the 2-bedroom apartments have been very popular with all of our clients so far. Now, let me show you one of our Birmingham developments. So this is the Birmingham city centre. Birmingham is the second largest city in the UK outside of London. And here, I'll show you the key landmarks. You've got New Street train station. You've got Birmingham Football Club here, Aston University here, Aston Villa Football Club at the top. You've got Grand Central here, which is the big train station, which goes directly into London and Manchester. You've got the Bullring, which is the largest shopping centre in Birmingham. And you've got the University of Birmingham there. And finally, you've got Birmingham International Airport just here. And Birmingham International Airport is the second largest international airport in the UK. These are where all of our previous developments were, which are now completely sold out. And these are the 3 developments we currently have available in Birmingham. And again, you can see these are all in very prime locations in the Birmingham area, very close to New Street, shopping centres, and also the universities as well. All of our developments, we're very particular where we choose them. We do make sure they're in prime locations, giving you the best rental yield and capital appreciation on your investments. Today, we'll talk about Smithfield House, which has been our new launch in Birmingham, which we launched about 3 months ago. And here's a quick short video on this development. So that was Smithfield House, again, prime location, 211 units, mixture of 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. This one completes in the summer of 2027, so around June, July 2027, giving you very attractive rental yields again, based on 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. Starting prices 219,000 and 310,000 for 2 bedroom apartments. Now, again, showing you just how prime this location is. You've got Smithfield House here in Digbeth and Smithfield. It's walking distance into the city centre, where you've got the Bullring, Selfridges, and then you've got the Grand Central here. But very importantly, it's very close to the HS2, which is the high-speed 2 train line that is being built. It's going to be the fastest train line in Europe, and it's going to go from Birmingham to London in just 45 minutes, making it very, very central and attractive for people to commute regularly back and forth from London. Now, a little bit about this development, again, with all the full amenities. It's got a full reception, hotel-style concierge, rooftop terrace gardens. This one also has cinema rooms and games rooms that tenants can rent out for free or hire out for free. It's going to have a fully equipped state-of-the-art gym, wellness studios, private dining and bar areas, co-working space, and quiet meeting rooms available for tenants to be able to use as well. As you can see from the apartments, they're very well built and will be well built and everything. And again, all of the white goods will be included in these. With this one, we have a very, very special and attractive payment plan available. So it's 5% to reserve a unit. After that, you pay 6% every 6 months until completion. So this is really helping you spread your payments out over a period of time. And obviously, I completely understand that with the banks in Nigeria at the moment making it very difficult for money to be taken out of the country. Again, this is why we offer payment plans to all of our clients. And then you just pay the balance on completion in 2027 when this development completes. And we can get you, again, 65 to 70% loan-to-value mortgages from mortgage lenders in the UK. Now I'm going to quickly show you Leeds. This has been a very popular development as well. This is the Leeds area. I'll show you some of the key landmarks. You've got the football stadium here, Leeds train station. You've got Leeds city centre just there, University of Leeds, financial district, and KPMG is located there. Our developments are based here, right near the city centre and all within 10 minutes away from the city of Leeds. Today, I'm going to show you Oval Gardens. This is a new launch that we launched in December last year.
In the last 5 years, Leeds ranks #1 for the highest annual price growth out of all the big 6 cities in England. 30 million visitors come to Leeds each year for the cricket, for the football, for the rugby, for the music, and for the university. Oval Gardens is your chance to capitalise on this demand. 44 modern apartments with prices starting from just £153,450, approved for short-term lettings with yields up to 16%, with easy access to the sporting venues and visitor attractions. You can invest now with around £35,000 as a 20% deposit and the balance on completion at the end of 2025.
So this has been very, very attractive and popular due to the price range of this. It's 44 apartments, so it's a very small development, but very, very nice. 1-bedroom apartments only available in this. Completes at the end of this year. So those that are looking to tap into something to get a quick rental income, this would be a great development to go with. This also allowed short-term lets, which means Airbnb, which is unusual because many developers don't always allow that as well. And 1 bedroom starting from around £155,000, making it a great entry price to get in. Again, on the map, just to show you, this is where Oval Gardens is. This is where the Leeds train station is, going directly into London, Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, Leeds, everywhere. And then you've got your university at the top up here as well. So all of this is within 10 minutes reach anywhere. To give you a bit of an idea, this is what the development looks like. And from the interior finishing, very high quality interior finishing. This doesn't have many amenities, but the price reflects on that. But it's still a very good entry point for those that want to get into the UK either way. With this one, we have a very easy, straightforward payment plan. £5,000 secures a unit. You then pay 20% to the lawyers in the UK, which goes into their escrow account. And it's always 20% minus the £5,000 you already paid. I forgot to mention that on the previous developments, but that's how it is. And then you pay the balance on completion with a 70% loan-to-value mortgage at the end of this year. And finally, I'm going to show you something in London because we have many clients that only want to buy into London or always are interested in London, London, London. We have an amazing development available in London at the moment. So central London, to give you an idea, this is where all the prime locations are. You've got Canary Wharf, then you've got Tower Bridge, British Museum, Buckingham Palace, and Harrods. Then we had one of our developments which is sold out, which we had there last year. We've got a current development in Canary Wharf right now, which is completed and already handing over, but we still have available units within there. Then we've got another one in Plumstead, which is a very prime location. You've got that right next to, and then we've got one in Wembley, just here, which is right next to Wembley Park Station and Wembley Stadium itself, okay? And that one's called Fulton and Fifth, which is our development there. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Lombard Square, which is our development that we are promoting. And I'll show you a quick short video on this. So that's our London development in a very prime location. We've got 72 units left, a mixture of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. This one completes early 2026, Q1. And for London, very attractive rental yields of around 6%. And 1 bedroom starting at £332,000, 2 bedrooms at £525,000. So this for London is very attractive pricing because most people expect London prices start around £450,000 to £500,000, but this is from a very reputable developer in one of the biggest in London, basically. Now there are 3 phases to this: Rosa, Opal, and Myro. Okay, we've got units available still if you want that complete at the middle of this year or end of this year. But the one I'm talking about is completing early next year, just to allow for a bit more grace period for clients. As you can see, there's the River Thames. So it does sit in a very, very prime location of London. 4 minutes walk to Plumstead Station, 10 minutes walk to Woolwich Elizabeth Line, and 8 minutes train ride to Canary Wharf. And Canary Wharf is Zone 2. Zone 1, obviously, is where you're going to be paying over £1 million for properties, but this is a very prime location for that. London School of Economics and Political Sciences are the nearest by universities, as well as Imperial College London. So this is going to attract a lot of people. And you can see this whole site is from one developer at the moment, building all of these units here. Some of them are already completed, and some of them are completing this year and next year. So let me show you some pictures of the interior of this. And it'll have the all state-of-the-art, basically, living rooms, terrace areas, kitchen, again, fully well equipped and everything. But this also, again, has a very attractive payment plan. This is £2,000 to reserve a unit now. You pay 10% within 28 days. And then you can pay 10% after 6 months, and then 5 or 10% after 12 months. Obviously, we've got to make sure that it all fits and aligns with the completion dates and times. And then the balance on completion at 70% loan-to-value mortgages available. So they're the developments that we currently have available. We've got many more, but that was just showcasing some of our top developments. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, how does it work, Hiren? How do we buy a property in the UK? Well, first and foremost, you would reserve a unit. After we've done our consultation one-to-one, we found the right city, the right location, the right unit, all within your budget. You will then reserve a unit on the development that you're most happiest with. After that, we will introduce you to an independent panel of lawyers in the UK. These lawyers work for you. They don't work for us. They do not work with the developer, but only you. They will do all of the background checks, and then eventually you'll pay them the deposit of the money. It goes into an escrow account, so your money is completely safe and protected. Then you exchange contracts within 28 days. After that, 6 months before completion, we'll introduce you to mortgage lenders that are fully regulated and can offer you UK mortgages. 3 months before completion, we'll introduce you to the property management company. They will help to get the property tenanted, manage it, and maintain it. And then eventually, if you want to sell your property, they will even help you to sell your property as well. And then the balance on completion through cash or mortgage. Now, very briefly, I'm going to touch on Dubai real estate because we've had many clients asking about Dubai real estate. Everyone's heard about it. It's all in the news. It's had the fastest growing country in the world at the moment, highest capital appreciation, some of the best rental yields. But I do appreciate many African clients are a bit apprehensive of Dubai for various reasons. However, there are still many people that are investing into Dubai from Africa. So I'm going to touch on some of the bits. So Dubai, this is just showing you some of Dubai property prices. It's had a huge increase. A significant rebound occurred with property prices increasing notably. In 2021, there was a 9.2% increase, followed by a 9.53% in 2022, and a substantial 20.14% increase in 2023. The upward trend continued with the average purchase price of residential properties in Dubai primary markets reaching almost 425 per square foot in Q3 of 2024. I can tell you now, I live here, I'm seeing a huge growth and a big boom in Dubai market, and property prices are not slowing down at all. In fact, more people are moving into Dubai. In terms of the population, you can see here that the current metro area population is almost 3 million people, 3.1 million people, which is an increase. Dubai's GDP reached 115 billion dirhams during the first quarter of 2024. So you can see the market and economy is continuing to rise here. But what is most important is that it's now become a fully regulated market. Okay, you've got RERA, which is the oversight and title deed system. You've got escrow accounts where developers cannot run away with your money because all money has to go into an escrow account. It's all fully governed and by the government and regulated. You've then got regulated rental laws, so ensuring that everything is fully regulated there. You've got investor protection and laws, so international investors are fully protected when they're buying properties here as well. And international investors can own property in designated freehold areas, offering full legal ownership and long-term investment security. So compared to what it was 10 years ago, guys, let me tell you, international investors are flocking into Dubai, left, right, and center. And the demand is ridiculous here at the moment. We as a company work with all the top developers in Dubai. We don't work with boutique or first time or new builders. We only work with the most reputable developers because we need to ensure they're cash rich, they're not going to run away, or they're not going to have a problem with defaulting or unable to complete. And why Dubai? So it's a tax-free income, so no property tax or capital gains tax. It's an iconic development and a growing economy attracting global investors. Extensive metro links and transportation make commuting seamless across the city. Average rental yields are above 8%. And which is beating a lot of other countries at the moment. Real estate investment can provide eligibility for UAE residency. Again, there are limitations on that. It's got to be over 2 million dirham properties, but you can now get a residency permit here. And Dubai offers a secure environment ideal for families and investors. This has been a big reason why so many people have started moving to Dubai. Safety, security, and it's got a strong economy. The currency is strong. So lots of reasons why people are starting to move here at the moment now. So why Dubai? So between 2020 and 2024, Dubai's property market experienced significant growth. In November 2024, apartment prices surged by 19.43% year over year, while villa prices increased by over 20%. And that's because a lot of families are moving across down to Dubai now as well. In the first half of 2024, the total sales value reached a record 233 billion dirhams. Okay, to put that into perspective, that's over $100 billion now, close to $100 billion basically. Okay, so Dubai Managed Services, we do offer the full property management services here as well. So we do the tenant management, rental collections, property inspections. We do property maintenance and repairs and everything as well, giving peace of mind for international clients, again, for Dubai as well. Legal compliance and documentations as well. Let me show you two of our developments that we currently have available here in Dubai, which have been very, very popular. So Dubai Sports Village, which is very close to Sheikh Zayed Road, Burj Khalifa, Burj Al Arab and everything as well. This is called Haven, 501 apartments. It's a mixture of studio, 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments. Q1 of 2026 completion. Dubai Sports City is the location of it, which is very prime, where you've got the cricket stadium, the football stadiums and everything as well. And these are very attractive starting prices. 750,000 dirhams for a studio apartment and 1 million dirhams plus for 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments. Again, in line with Dubai, these are very attractive prices. To give you an idea, this is where the Haven is in the Dubai Sports City area, very close to the Autodrome and everything as well. This is what the development will look like on completion. Dubai is all about the bling. It's all about the looks and glamour and everything. So you'll find that on many of the developments, they look absolutely outstanding and amazing. Okay. And you can see from the interior finishing, very, very high-end finishing on all of these developments. Bingati, the developer we work with, we have a very strong relationship with them. I personally own a couple of properties with them as well. I can vouch for them, and I can tell you the quality of finishing is absolutely amazing. And it has what you'd expect from Dubai: state-of-the-art gyms, yoga rooms, children's play areas, dining facilities, swimming pools, beach access on some of them. You've got cycling tracks and housekeeping services as well. With Dubai, though, it's not like the UK with payment plans as easy. Here on this particular development is 20% down payment, 50% during construction, and 30% on completion. Okay, so you are almost pretty much paying for everything within 1 year of this particular development. Okay, then the next one is JVC, Jumeirah Village Circle, a very popular, very upcoming area at the moment as well. This one's called Ruby, 572 apartments, studio, 1, 2 and 3 bedrooms. It completes at the end of this year. And in JVC area, slightly lower prices because of the location, just under 700,000 for studios, under 1 million for 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom and 3 bedroom apartments. Again, it sits in a very prime location. And just to give you an idea, this is JVC. You got Burj Al Arab just there. And then you got Sheikh Zayed Road and everything just over here, Hester Street, which is another big prime street as well. 6 minutes from Dubai Hills Mall, 17 minutes from Burj Khalifa, and near the international airport and business bay as well. So again, here's some pictures of what it looks like when it's completed. Beautiful. It's going to have all of the dining and kitchen area, bedrooms, living rooms. Again, swimming pools, everything is kind of standard in all developments. Gyms, yoga rooms, they're all standard in all developments in Dubai, basically. And with this one, again, 20% down payment, 50% during construction. This one completes at the end of this year in non-completion. And that's it. So that was just giving you a very quick overview on Dubai as well. Now, let me give you a reason. Why should you work with us at Legacy? Guys, I'll make this very quick, so it won't take too much more longer of your time. So a little bit about us. Legacy UK Investment Consulting is a premier UK-based property consultancy dedicated to connecting international investors with prime property opportunities across the UK. With over 30 years of combined experience, our team brings a wealth of industry knowledge and experience and expertise to every client interaction. In terms of our divisions, we have the UK property division, which is what we've discussed today. We also work with 14 governments around the world, giving citizenship and residency programs, mainly the Caribbean islands for those that are looking for a second passport. And then we've got our Dubai real estate division, where we're fully licensed and regulated in Dubai to be able to offer you top developments from top developers. In terms of, as a company, we do have a global presence. We have over 400 clients all over the world, and we've been established for a very long time. Africa is our biggest region. Nigeria is my biggest market as well. And then we've got Ghana, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Kenya. Obviously, we cater for the full of the Middle East, UK, Europe, and obviously the Far East as well. Head office is here in Dubai. We have an office in Dubai, Turkey, a UK office, and a Spain office. And guys, I am hoping to give you good news later in the year when we're planning to open an office in Lagos in Victoria Island also. We're already in talks at the moment. We do offer a very trusted service. At Legacy, we make UK property investments easy for clients worldwide with full service support and consultancy. Whether you're new or experienced, we provide an expertise to help grow your wealth confidently. And in terms of opportunities at Legacy, we provide clients with the wealth of opportunities to enter the UK and Dubai property market and build profitable, lasting portfolios. Our diverse selection of high quality properties is strategically located in prime areas across cities like London, Manchester, Birmingham, and more. Our clients can benefit from investments that offer both high rental yields and significant capital appreciation, creating a solid foundation for wealth growth. By carefully selecting properties in high demand areas, we ensure that each investment not only meets today's market demands, but also positioned for long-term value as well. As a company, we don't just sell you a property, we are here to handhold you through the whole process of buying a property in the UK. So to give you an idea, today I've only touched on some cities and locations in the UK and in Dubai. However, when you're ready, please contact Rose or Jerry, and we would then arrange a one-to-one meeting. There I'll go into more detail about Manchester, Birmingham, London, Liverpool, whichever city you're most interested in investing into. So that's where we will do the investment consultation, a one-to-one meeting to find the right development within your budgets. From there, we'll introduce you to an independent panel of lawyers that work for you, not us or the developer, and they will look after you through the whole process, and then you pay them and your money is completely safe and secure in the UK. From there, we will also introduce you to UK-based mortgage lenders. They will help to get you a tailored solution to meet your requirements and needs to get a mortgage. We also will then introduce you to independent property management company that will help to get your property tenanted, manage it and maintain it. Because at the end of the day, you live in Africa, you don't want to be managing the property in the UK, you don't want the headaches at 3 o'clock in the morning if the electrics aren't working, boilers broken or anything at all. The property management company will do everything for you. From there, we will help you to open up UK bank accounts as well, so you can have your rental income coming into a UK bank account. If you have anything outside of the Naira, we can also help you with FX services. We work with regulated companies in the UK. So if you've got dollars, euros, or any other major currency, we can help to get it converted at better rates than the banks will give you. We will help you with company formation and setup in the UK and UAE. Some clients who are building property portfolios, I would advise them to put their properties into a UK company where you're the owner, the director, your wife, your children. They can become shareholders, dividend holders, but there are many tax benefits by doing this in the UK company formation if you are buying multiple properties. And finally, we will help you with investor and gold and visa services if you're looking to buy in Dubai or set up businesses in Dubai as well. In terms of mortgages, to give you an idea, we've been in and out of Nigeria for over 8 years. We work with all of the top banks in Nigeria. We've got a very strong tight relationship with them, but you're not dealing with their Nigeria branches. You are dealing with their London, UK offices, because in order to get a mortgage in the UK, you can only work with UK lenders. And we work very closely with Zenith, GT, Fidelity, Access, FCMB, and we're still creating other relations with other banks. But the good news for you is we can also give you other UK lenders that will also lend to the Africa and Nigeria market as well. You're not just restricted to these lenders, okay? As a company, we have, like I said, been in and out of Nigeria for a very long time. We work very closely with all of these companies. JTC, we've been working with them for over 5 years with all of their high net and ultra high net clients. And then also Gadal Real Estate, we're working closely with them to cater for their clients. But we also have very strong relations with all of the ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, Diageo, and we're also working with their corporate teams, helping their members to also tap into the UK property market. I have hundreds of clients in Nigeria now that have successfully bought, and many of them are on their second, third, fourth properties already, and I'm helping them to build their property portfolios. And I would love to be there to help you build up your property portfolio. This is just showing you that I was in Nigeria last year. I've been in the newspapers a few times now, but this was our more recent last year, where we did a huge event with JTC, GD Taiwan Co., where we had over 150 people attend our event. And the Guardian Property interviewed us and asked to learn a little bit more about UK property. And you can see me there on the right-hand side. And there's Daniel on the left-hand side, and that's the JTC owners they're in the middle, and we've got a very strong relationship with all of them, and we work very closely with them and their clients as well. So this is just giving you a bit of peace of mind that I'm not new to Nigeria, and we understand it, the devaluation of currency and everything there as well. And I help clients to sail and navigate their way through this and then tap into the UK property market. So guys, thank you very much for listening to me. I know it was a bit of a long presentation, but hopefully you got educated and you learned a lot today. And now I would like to hand it over back to some Q&A where Jerry and Rose will see if you had any questions. Now, before I hand it to them, please look on the bottom right side where you'll see a tab saying chat or Q&A. Please ask any questions on there, and we will be more than happy to answer anything you would like us. So, Jerry, Rose, do you want to see what questions we have? I think there's a few already.
Yes, yes, Hiren. Great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, Hiren?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
Yes, you
perfect.
can.
So I guess just 1 second. Or do you know, Rose, do you want to go with your question?
Okay, yeah, I can see some questions here, so I'll direct them to Hiren. Okay, so the first one is coming from Helsi. Hi, Helsi. So Hiren, she's asking, what is the installment payment like, and what is the timeline? I think that was before you handled it, I guess.
Sorry, what was the question? Sorry, what?
Okay, let me come again. Can you hear me properly? Confirm you can hear me properly. Okay, so Elsie is asking, what is the installment payment like, and what is the timeline? So I guess that was before you talked about the installment. Okay.
Yes. So in the UK, we have very strong relations with all of the developers that we work with. And due to our reputation, they will offer us payment plans. Now, each development can have a slightly different payment plan. To give you an idea, some of our Manchester developments, you can pay 10% now and you can pay 10% after 3 months or 6 months. We've got another developer that will offer you 10% this year, 5% next year, and 5% the year after. Our Birmingham development will have 5% as a down payment now, and then 6% every 6 months. And our London development is offering 10% now, 10% after 6 months, and 10% on completion. So with most of our developers, they do offer a payment plan. If it's a 1-bedroom and a low price unit, it might be just a case of 20% as a down payment, and then the balance on completion through mortgage. I hope that answers that question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hiren. So I think Jerry is out, so we'll just continue. I'll read the next question. You can go ahead if he joins us. Okay, so the next question is from Ephraim. And how can you partner with my property company since you're getting an office in Lagos? So I think it's a real estate fair. Talking about partnership.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate the question. I would direct you to either Jerry or Rose, whoever invited you to the webinar. I would love it if you could maybe approach them, speak to them, and I would be happy to arrange a meeting with you next week and discuss how we could partner with you. We're always looking for good, high quality partners in all of our countries that we work in. So please reapproach either Jerry or Rose, and I'll be happy to arrange a meeting with you next week and discuss how we can do that.
All right. So going ahead, this is from Leke. Very brilliant presentation. Will you be making available to attendees a copy of the webinar recording? Okay, so he's basically asking if the live recording will be made available to attendees. Of course.
Yes, we will be. So this has been recorded, and then Jerry and Rose will be sharing this out to all the clients next week early, probably by Monday or Tuesday. You will get a full recording of this, and then you can revisit the questions or whatever I covered in here and see it again in more detail. But also, alternatively, if you go to my YouTube page, which is Legacy Investment Consultancy. You'll see all of our webinars on there. We've done lots of webinars. We've done it with lots of banks. And then also a lot of our developments are on there, so you can see them as well. So please do visit our YouTube page as well, where you can learn more about all of our different webinars and presentations we've done. And also to add, guys, I frequently am in Nigeria, in Lagos. I was there last month. I'm actually planning to be there in the next 2 weeks again, where I'll be doing a number of one-to-one meetings, but I also do a lot of seminars when I get there. Now, normally my seminars are either in Victoria Island at the 4 Points by Sheraton, or I do it in Ikoyi at the George Hotel. So ask Jerry or Rose when I'm next going to be there, and I'd be more than happy to arrange either a one-to-one meeting when I'm there in person, or we can do a Zoom meeting before I arrive, or please attend one of my seminars.
All right. Okay, so this is a very interesting question, Hiren. So it's an anonymous attendee, and he or she is asking, I live in the US. Why should I invest in the UK?
Okay, very good question. So the US, now, as a resident of the US,
Yeah.
I guess it's a very good question. Why would you invest there? Because a lot of people that invest in the UK at the moment is because they love the USA. They want to buy in the USA. But the problem is in USA, unless if you are a resident in the US, you cannot get a mortgage, which means you've got to do 100% cash outright purchase on a property in the US. But I always say to clients, if you've got the cash, why would you buy one property when you could buy multiple properties with that same amount of cash building your property portfolio? Now, with the US, with you living there, you already can get advantage of mortgages. However, what I would say is that the US generally, sadly, can be one of the most volatile from the most developed countries around the world, because when a recession hits, the US gets hit first and the hardest, because everyone is reliant on the dollar globally. Then everyone else follows recession, maybe a couple of months afterwards or whatever it might be. But also, when you take a property hit in the US, it can be quite substantial, to be fair, at times. But it's because you're such a big country, you've got vast amounts of land, you've got no shortage of property where you could build and how you can build. So it's supply and demand is a little bit of a question, really, as to builds. However, with the UK, the biggest advantage you have, firstly, for you, would be diversification of your money. So you're diversifying into pounds rather than full exposure in dollars. Secondly, you're also able to buy into the UK property market, where we know demand is consistent and high, because the UK does have a shortage of land and property, and it can't keep up with current demand. Okay, so I mean, I'll be happy to sit on a one-to-one meeting and maybe give you some more pointers and advantages of buying into the UK property market. But one of them also will be the currency, actually. Sorry, one more to add, because the pound is stronger than the dollar. So if you were getting money in pounds and earning rental income in pounds, when the pound does become stronger, you get more money in dollars, especially if the dollar was, $1.30 to the pound, or $1.40 to the pound, which it has happened many times. You could take advantage of the currency as well. So that could be another very good reason for you to be able to buy into the UK property market.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hiren. And since I can't tell who asked the question, if you need to get on a one-on-one consultation, just reach out to whoever invited you, myself or Jerry, and we could have one-on-one consultation to clarify. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jerry is back, so he could take up the questions. Okay. So I'll go ahead. So this is from Alobo. What is the guarantee of getting a mortgage approval from your third party?
Okay. So very, very good question. And I really like that question as well. Now, I can tell you now that in the UK, one of the biggest advantages you get is because the UK has something called a BTL, buy to let mortgage. Okay. And with a buy to let mortgage, the mortgage lenders know that this is not a personal property that you're living in. It's an investment property. And in an investment property, your tenant is paying your mortgage through the rent. Okay. I can tell you now, I have literally a 98% guarantee that you will get a mortgage. I've very rarely ever had a client get declined on mortgage. And the only time they got declined on mortgage was because they had lived in the UK at one point or another. They got really bad credit and adverse credit. And because of that, they got declined. But other than that, I can tell you now, I've got over 170 clients in Nigeria. Okay. None of them have been failed on mortgages, to be fair, okay, apart from a one or two, basically. It's very rare. But even if you reserved a unit and you did get declined on a mortgage, what I've done for many clients over the years, and even during COVID and after COVID and everything as well, where people did lose their jobs, I will just flip the property for you to another buyer looking to buy, and we will just return your money back of whatever you had put down as your down payments. We've done that many a times. Flipping properties is very common throughout the whole world. Close to completion, a lot of people just flip the property and sell it on, basically. So we will do that if you do not get a mortgage approval. But your mortgage approval will come 6 months before completion. So we'll have plenty of time and low risk for us to sell that property on to another buyer.
All right. Thank you very much, Hiren. So this from Patience. Patience has two questions. I think I'll take it. I'll ask the first one, then I'll go ahead with the second one. Are there any restrictions for Nigerians investing in UK real estate? What are the restrictions, if there are any, for Nigerians who want to invest?
So absolutely none. There are no restrictions whatsoever for any Nigerian client investing into the UK. You do not need to be a UK resident. You do not have to have a UK passport. It does not matter. You can have a passport anywhere in the world, but you can get no restrictions, basically.
Okay. So the second question, will investors hold freehold or leasehold titles, and how is ownership secured?
Okay, so in the UK and actually many countries around the world, all apartments are leasehold. All apartments, doesn't matter which apartment, where it is, they're all leasehold, not freehold. Leasehold, you have most of them are 999-year leaseholds, okay? And that's just there on paper. To be honest, freehold, leasehold means nothing really in the UK nowadays. But it's only because there are so many owners of a property on one piece of land. That's why you have to have a leasehold, because no one person can own that whole land when you've got maybe 200 other people owning apartments in there as well. That's why you have leasehold. But if you look at all of our developments, all of the developments are over 250 years, up to 999-year leases. And they always get renewed automatically about 100 years before renewal. And that is by the council, because that's what they always do. And they have historically always done that as well.
Okay, so
and sorry, to add to that, I noticed you said, how is ownership secured? Ownership is secured by title deeds, and every property or apartment you buy in the UK, you get title deeds showing that you are the legal owner of that apartment in the UK, and the lawyers will give you that very early on, and then you're also registered with the UK Government Land Registry Department, okay? So you are the legal owner of that property in the UK, no matter what happens. Even if you have a mortgage, you are the legal owner of that property.
All right, thank you, Hiren. So this is another interesting question. Okay, so the person said, I see the breakdown, the milestone, that is the payment plan. So what happens if you default in payment? What happens to the client if they
Very good
default in
question.
payment?
So look, at the end of the day, one thing you have to remember, the UK is a very heavily regulated market for properties, especially as well. You're signing contracts, okay? And technically, you are liable for that, for all of the payments that you're committing to. But don't worry, before that, we do go through to make sure that it's affordable before you do that. Now, one thing is that the UK is also fairly flexible. If you let us know in advance, and it has to be a sensible time frame. Look, Hiren, we've had a problem. I've lost my job or whatever it might be. Can I have, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks extension on my second down payment? The developers are generally quite flexible with this. and they will assist you and allow for an extension. Not if you keep on doing it, but at least once or twice they will allow it. Worst case scenario, if you know that you're not going to be able to fulfill your obligation at all, and you have a genuine financial struggle, let me know in advance as quickly and as early as possible, because we will then flip that property to another buyer. That other buyer will pay back whatever you have paid, and they will take over the balance of the payment plan. Again, we have done this on a number of occasions for clients if they've fallen into difficulties. It's not something I enjoy doing too much because we sell brand new developments and new clients all the time, but we can assist you with that. And also the developer will also offer it out to their clients in the open market as well. But ideally, you've got to be able to make sure you can afford all your payment plans before you come in. But we can help you if you fall into some difficulties.
All right. So the next question, the proposed development and the amount stated, does it include full in the videos? So the payment the client does it come with full furnishing?
Yeah. So in the UK, now all of our developments do not come furnished, but the property management company will help you with furnishing if you want it. Now, what I always say is don't commit to furniture in advance or too early, because if you get a tenant wanting to move in and the tenant has their own furniture and you've got furniture in there, you're going to have to get all that furniture taken out and then stored, which you will be paying for storage. So with furniture, always wait till the last minute, depending on the tenant moving in, whether he wants furniture or not. If he wants furniture, you can also increase the rent a little bit by 50 to 75 pounds a month. To give you a typical idea, a one-bedroom apartment to get it furnished would be about 3,000 pounds, and a two-bedroom apartment would be 5,000 pounds. But that would include everything from sofas, beds, wardrobes, dining tables, coffee tables, and all of the other things. Obviously, not electrical items like TVs and all of that, but the main furniture would be included in there. And the property management company have contracts with people like IKEA and many other. So within less than a week, they can basically get furniture installed into your apartments for you if the tenant requires it. But you can also charge more if furniture is included.
Okay. So going over to the next question. I know some UK companies that have gone bankrupt after taking on major developments, and eventually insurance companies take over these buildings. Are there any measures that Legacy has put in place to hedge investors' funds on situations like this?
Good question. So to give you an idea, we only work with the top most reputable developers in the UK. And that I can tell you genuinely, because when we do a one-to-one, and you do your background on any of the developers I work with, you'll see these are very top developers. I don't work with boutique developers, first-time builders, or one-off builders. We don't work with them, okay? We work with reputable developers. And we basically ensure that all of the developments have an insurance element and protection level in there, ensuring that if a developer does have a problem, then the investor is fully protected. And yes, if a development does get taken over by another developer, then you still own that development because you've got the title deeds and legal documents showing that you already invested into that development. So that's not going to be an issue. Now, all the developments I've ever worked with in the last 10 years and above, I've never had a developer default or bankrupt or anything like that. So that's hopefully giving you a bit of peace of mind. And this also peace of mind that you get is that you're only paying reservation fees 10% and 10%, and then the balance on completion. So you're not risking 80, 90, 100% of your money in one go. Also, the money is paid into an escrow account in the UK, which again protects your money, and the developer doesn't have access to all of your funds in one go as well. So again, a large element of your money is completely protected for that reason as well. But your lawyers, when you're introduced to them, will go through protection levels of that investment you're buying as well, because each development has a different level of investment protection.
Okay, thank you very much for the detailed response. Having the restrictions with Nigerian nationality on visa into the UAE, why should I consider including the UAE into my portfolio? Is there a waiver in this situation?
Right. So the very simple answer to that would be that if you buy a property over 2 million dirhams, okay, and it's paid for in total, you would automatically get the golden visa. The golden visa means you don't have to apply for a visa. You can come directly into Dubai anytime you want. The second option is, which I've done for many of my clients, including my existing clients in Nigeria and other countries, is you can set up a company here in Dubai. It could be in the free zone, doesn't have to be a trading company or anything like that. And then with that, you get an investor visa or a company visa. That again means that you can travel into Dubai without having to apply for any visas every single time. So that's pretty straightforward on how you would get yourself a visa in Dubai and not having to go keep on applying every time you come.
Okay. I think we have 2 more questions left. So, does one need to travel to the UK or Dubai in person at all during the whole process, plus subsequent manage? Sorry, let me take this again. I think it's 2 questions merged in one. So, does one need to travel? Does the client need to travel to the UK or Dubai in person during the process?
No, not at all. You don't have to.
Okay.
No, you don't. Unless if with Dubai, if you're setting up a company in Dubai, then yes, you will need to come to Dubai because you have to do a medical here, and then you have to collect your Emirates ID in person here as well. So Dubai, yes, if you're setting up a company, if you're just buying the property remotely from Nigeria and we're doing the whole process for you, then no, you do not need to come here. UK, you do not need to go at all. Even if you're setting up a company in the UK, you do not need to travel there if you don't want to. Believe it or not, I've got clients who have owned properties for about 2 or 3 years in the UK. They've never even seen their apartment or property because it was handed over. Property management company dealt with everything. And then tenants moved in straight away and they've never even seen their apartment. So to give you an idea, no, you don't really need to travel UK or Dubai if you don't want to.
Okay, so the other part of the question is subsequent management, can it be done while the buyer is in Nigeria?
Sorry, management can be done. Yeah, absolutely, it can be. Yes.
Yes, it can. Okay, so this is the last question. You mentioned that property managers, of course, manages the properties after purchase or completion. So who pays the fees for maintenance work to be carried out? For example, basement or flat roof leakage, structural defects, etc. So who handles the fees?
Perfect. Very good question. So all developments in Dubai and UK have something called service charges, okay? Service charges are a price per square foot that you pay. Your tenant's technically paying for it through the rent. And then if there's anything that needs to be done on the property, especially when you talk about the gyms, the yoga rooms, like the communal rooftop terrace gardens, the service charges cover all of those costs. So if anything needs to be replaced, damaged, broken, anything leaks or whatever, structurally and everything like that, it's all covered within your service charges. And the developer, it's their job to basically get everything fixed so it's always perfect. Anything inside your apartment all of that is your duty, but anything that's in the communal areas and residence areas, that is all down to the developer to be able to look after it for you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Harry. That was the last question.
Fantastic. So guys, there was really good questions there. I really liked it. I would love to meet all of you at some point or another on a one-to-one basis. Please reach out to Jerry or Rose, and please do book in a one-to-one meeting for all of us to be able to meet at some point over the next week or two, or at least when I get there next time around. So on that, I'd like to wish everyone a great evening, and thank you very much for everyone's time today. Thank you.